Welcome, everybody, to the Building Aaronsburg podcast. I'm Thomas Aaronsburg.
And I'm Catherine Aaronsburg.
And we just got back from our week-long vacation at Callaway Gardens in Pine Mountain, Georgia.
We've talked about vacations versus family trips. What would you have said this was?
This was definitely a vacation.
It was both, right?
Well, I guess,
It was both.
I guess it can be both. So I would say it was a vacation. I mean, I feel rested.
Ooh.
I feel rested.
It was a vacation that we had the children on. You guys, this is groundbreaking. Groundbreaking information here at the Aaronsburg house. We have never been.
Well, let's back up for first-time listeners, how you would define both.
I would have defined a vacation where we are free of children and the burdens of providing all the things that stresses us out about children. Our children are getting older at this point.
Yeah.
But vacations to me are without the burden of when are we going to eat next? When are the kids going to take a nap? Where are the bathrooms so they can go potty? Like all the things that
all the minutia.
Yeah, fighting.
All the planning.
And all the planning and all of the inability to just be free to kind of do what you want, eat when you want, drink when you want.
Right. So I guess it was.
Stay up as late as you want.
I guess it's a little bit of a family trip then.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, but I feel like we were able to relax quite a bit. So we're going to tell you a little bit about Callaway Gardens, about where it is, what we did there, because what we did there isn't what you have to do there. There's lots of other options to do.
Yeah, we did something very specific that they offer.
Yes.
That you don't have to go and participate in what we participated in. And I don't know how many people actually do. You know, people that might be listening that have visited Callaway Gardens probably have not done this.
So Callaway Gardens is it started out as a nature preserve up in Pine Mountain, Georgia. It was started by the Callaway brothers, as far as I can tell. We didn't get a real good history lesson, but I was trying to read up on it.
Someone told us that there was an offering for that, and then we didn't see anything like that. So.
But essentially, it's over 1,000 acres, or I don't even know, 12,000 acres, whatever it was. It's a very large.
We read a lot of different numbers. So
thousands. It's a very large piece of land with water bodies on it, from little bubbling brooks to lakes to man-made beaches. There's 2 golf courses there.
Mm-hmm. Tennis courts,
a lodge, which has a spa in it. It's like a hotel. The groups of cottages where we stayed, which is more of like fancy camping, like glamping kind of, where you have a kitchen and a living room and a TV. I mean, like all the modern conveniences, air conditioning. Yes. It's like a cabin essentially.
Right.
And so then they've got hiking trails and biking trails and golf cart paths and all these things. They have a chapel on the campus. They have a butterfly conservatory. They have, just if you can imagine what that would look like in your head, it's just a lot of green outdoor space that you can do a lot of different things in. So the local people will come and play golf. The local people will come and sit at the beach, by the beach, and enjoy playing in the water, play with the sand, all that stuff. And then the thing that we signed up for was called Summer Family Adventure, and they hold it every year, every summer for I think like 8 weeks of the summer.
7 or 8 weeks, yeah.
And traditionally, the University of Florida
State, I think.
Florida State University, that's correct. Florida State University has a circus team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know that was a thing that you could learn in college, but apparently it is. And their team spends the summer at Callaway Gardens practicing, and they also help run this camp called Summer Family Adventure. Now, because of COVID, they took that year off, and since this is a year kind of transitioning back from COVID, they still stayed back, and they didn't come to Callaway this year because I think they were practicing and trying to catch up with what they had lost during 2020, the college was. And so they are supposed to be back next year. So essentially you're watching these circus shows that's provided within the Summer Family Adventure, and all these different activities. Ours was a little more limited because of coronavirus and masking.
They weren't fully back from COVID.
Not fully back, yeah. So it was definitely a transition year. But for us, it was a very good, we didn't know any different, right? There's people who have been going to this same summer adventure for like
decades. Yeah.
Decades. Apparently it started like back in the 60s. So there are people who've been going for a very long time. It becomes a family tradition. It's a really great, just like family bonding type situation. There's a lot of families when we went from Louisiana. I don't know if their marketing is better for this this summer thing in Louisiana than it is in
Yeah, well, I mean,
Alabama.
if it's people that have been going for years, they've just been telling the same group of people probably
Sure.
within their town or whatever.
Yeah, so we actually ended up going the same week as a couple other family friends of ours that have children about our children's same ages, and so when we all kind of stayed in the same spot.
Right.
And so when we got there, it was like instant friends. You didn't have to make
Playmates.
playmates. Oh,
Yeah.
it was just
Other
incredible.
adults that we already know.
Yes. The other good thing was that I was able to text my friend and say, I know we're staying in these cottages. What do they provide there?
Right.
What do I need to bring? In your experience, what is things that we might forget or that we might need that people might not mention? And so we learned things like you need to bring quarters because there's a laundry place there. You can do your laundry. There's not laundry included in the place. And you're in your cottage. You need to bring dishwasher tabs and paper towels and bug spray and sunscreen and all these different things. And so we had the benefit of asking those questions ahead of time. And I think that we planned pretty perfectly.
Yep.
For I think the one thing.
But, I mean, we had a lot of information though going in.
Yes.
We asked a lot of questions. We did a lot of research. So and then we're planners anyway, which I feel like that you're right though. We planned for it about as well as we could have planned going into something blind.
Yeah. So back to the definition of family vacation or family trip versus vacation. Family trips are the ones that most of us take. You take the whole family, you go down to the beach. You're essentially living your life out of a suitcase in a different location.
Right.
You're doing the same stuff. You still have to wash your clothes. You still got to wash dishes. There's no one taking care of that stuff for you, right?
Yep.
You're having to entertain the kids or come up with something to do every day. So there was some of that. So I would call it a split between the family vacation or the family trip and the vacation.
Right. It wasn't all inclusive.
Yeah, it was not completely all inclusive. You got your place to live, and it was a lot like a hotel, like a large hotel room, basically with a kitchenette, where you had a dishwasher. It was stocked with pots and pans and dishes and things like that. But we still had to bring our own meals. Right. There was no,
our own snacks.
Our own snacks. Yeah. So you had to plan for all of that stuff. You had to do your own laundry. But the beauty of this vacation for me, now I'm not sure that Thomas, that you have ever considered what makes a good vacation or not. Like, I feel like you're so go with the flow that we could plan anything and say the kids are coming with us and you'd be fine. I'm not that way. I speculate and kind of can project, and either falsely or not, I don't know. I kind of can see what I'm going to hate about a trip before we even get there.
Yeah.
And those things usually are that we would have to plan every single thing, every single meal, every activity, all that stuff. And that stuff stresses me out a lot. And so doing it with kids out of a suitcase, not in our own home, like, it's just a no-go for me.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And so this trip for me was the perfect balance between someone else planning a lot of stuff and me having to plan some things. And us
still having some control over what we do.
Yes.
Daily.
And us all having a good time. The kids weren't constantly asking me, I'm bored. What can I do? Like, kill me now. Like, if I was going to have to pay to be somewhere and the kids were going to be bugging me, I mean, we may as well be at home. That's how I view it. And so what this summer family adventure is, I'm going to try to explain it as succinctly as possible.
Yeah.
But essentially, the whole family goes to this Callaway Gardens.
Yeah.
We stay in a cottage. When you wake up in the morning, the kids go off to camp that is scheduled. Every minute of their day is scheduled. You send them off with a lunch. They eat lunch together, and then you go and gather them up at 2 or 3, whatever the allotted time is in the afternoon. You go and pick them up. While they're at camp, they also have a schedule of adult activities, which are,
kind of the same stuff.
All kinds of things. Wine tasting and pizza making and treetop adventure, which is like zip lines and things like that. Mm-hmm. Golf, tennis, paddleboarding, kayaking, canoeing, fishing. I mean, just tons and tons of different activities. And they've got them all scheduled for the adults as well.
Right.
You don't have to go to all the events, but there they are. They're there for you. You can do them if you want to. You don't have to do them. So you have the freedom to be as lazy as you want or as adventurous as you want. Mm-hmm. And there's other things that are included in the adventure that are not on a schedule necessarily, but they're included. Like, you can go over to look at the butterfly conservatory. You can go to
whenever you want.
whenever you want.
Right.
Yeah. So you've kind of got this flexible schedule. So to me, that's the marriage of the kids are being taken and they're being entertained for an entire day while you and I get to do whatever we want.
Right. There's stuff planned if we want to.
Yes. And then we come back together in the evening and they've got even more activities planned for the family.
Right.
So everybody has their own individual time, and then we have family time that I still, again, don't have to plan anything.
Sure.
We brought s'mores. We brought chocolate and marshmallows and graham crackers and all that, but they had a s'mores roast twice.
Yeah.
Like, perfect, you know? I'm trying to think of the other
things.
things.
A magic show at night.
Yeah, magic show, a game show night. They had bingo. And all those things are easy for kids to participate in. Right. And they have a ton of fun. And
really, what I liked about them is that, we went with these two other couples that have, between our three families, there was like 15 kids. So they're very like-minded in that way as well. But
like-minded and like you have a ton of children.
Yeah, like you have a lot of kids. We're both big Catholic families.
Yeah.
So like we would go to bingo. We would go to the marshmallow thing, and the kids would go play with the kids, and like we could just talk with the adults. Even though it was a family event, we were like the whole family was participating, but
we were there, but not in each other's faces the whole time. You're not having to. I have to like sit there and talk to my kids the whole time. I mean, what would be the?
Yeah, but I mean, like we would get back and we would talk about it, like, oh, that was so funny when this happened, or did you see that?
And now you're getting to share some because you ask. It's just like school. Your kids go to these scheduled activities all day without you, and they come back and you say, "Well, what'd you do?" And they don't tell you anything.
Right.
Like they either forgot, whatever.
Right.
But when we have family together activities, we can all talk about it and like bounce the memories and things off of each other, which is so fun.
Yeah.
And they'll actually talk about it then, because Lord knows they won't talk about it whenever it's just them participating.
Well, and we saw them participating in it. There was one night that they were doing the marshmallow thing, and our older son was like leading all of the campfire songs.
Yeah.
That he had learned in the 2 days that we had been there.
Yeah, so it's fun to see them in their element when they'd kind of come all together,
right.
From the camp that day. So anyway, so that was our trip. It's not cheap.
No, it's not.
It was certainly
but it's
it was
comparable to if you go Disney for a week or you go one of these other.
Is it? I don't even know how much those things cost.
It's thousands of dollars.
But to me, Disney is very stressful. That's just my personality. Right. We are also not the type of family who likes to just stand in a line and then ride or go shopping, or like our idea of fun is riding a bike, shooting, archery, or on a like we like to be active and we like
things.
We like to go. Things. We're doers. We like to do things. That's just who we are. So I think vacationing, like anything else, you just have to be honest with yourself about the types of vacations that you will enjoy.
Right.
If I just can't sit, like we've been through that before. We went up to the mountains one time and I just sat and we went home a day early because I had rented the cabin for like 2 nights or 3 nights.
Right.
And the first night we got up there and the next day.
Well, I think a lot of the things were closed when we went there.
It was,
we went earlier than.
But again, if there had been a schedule in front of me that said, and we're going to take a hike from 8 to 9 a.m. and then we're going to go over here, I would have been on it.
Yeah, which that did not. That when we went to Unicoi, that's what you're talking about.
We would have had to plan our own stuff. And
there was stuff, but we would have had to plan it.
Yeah. I'm not great at the researching a location and coming up with things to do in that location. I'm just really bad at it. And I know that about myself. And so I was trying to find something that would fit my very unique, weird situation.
I mean, this one checks a lot of the boxes.
All of them. I mean, I don't know which one it doesn't, honestly. Because it's not that
someone was cooking your own meals for you.
That's true. And healthier meals too, because you're going for a week. I don't want to cook on my vacation,
right?
And so we planned all the meals ahead of time. I cooked them. Anything that could be frozen, I cooked it here, froze it here, and then we brought it with us, kept it in the freezer until the day of, defrosted it, and put it in the oven. That worked out great. It really did.
Yeah. Now the 2 families that we stayed with. It was really 3 families, I guess. It was the 2 families and then their parents.
Yes.
And they just took a night cooking.
Yes.
That would be ideal.
That's how we do holidays.
Right.
In my family, I'm one of 6, and most of us are girls. And I would say traditionally in our family, it's just you and me. Between you and me, I cook. You don't cook at all. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of guys grill or they cook or whatever, but I do not come from a family of male cooks. I just don't. And so, since we're all girls, we all decided, look, the easiest way to do a holiday is we're all getting together. Everybody will take a night to cook, and then you only have to deal with cooking
Cooking and cleaning.
Cooking and
I
cleaning.
think you cook and clean the kitchen.
Yeah, you cook and you clean in the same night. You decide what meal you're going to cook. You bring all the ingredients for it. You cook it at wherever we are, sister's house, my house, wherever. Everybody shares a meal. You're cooking for a ton of people. But when it's done, you're done for the whole trip. And I think that's a great thing. Because cooking on vacation is just, to me, the worst. It's not what I'm interested in doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's, we found it. We found the thing. Now, the kids want to go back. They didn't even know what this thing was. We're like, just trust us. It's going to be great.
We kind of told them a little bit. And I think I found it on Facebook or something, or the page for it on Facebook. And I kind of showed them like, oh, look, here's the activities you're going to do. And so they got to read through it. And, that's just the title of the activity.
Yeah, they don't really know what it means necessarily.
So, yeah. But, you could tell some of it. If it said golf camp, tennis camp, you knew what that was. But Insects and Me or Birds of Prey show.
Yeah.
You don't really know what that is until you go and you see it.
The Birds of Prey show is amazing, by the way.
And I'll say this, if we go back, now that I know what all the things are, this year when we went, I felt like it was expensive. Like, we don't spend a lot of money on stuff like this normally. And so the first day that we were there, I was sprinting around, really probably the first 2 days.
Trying to get every activity in.
I was trying to get to everything. I was...
Because you feel like it's money lost if you don't do it.
Yes. I felt like I was losing money if I didn't go to every single one of the little camps they had for the adults. And I'm not sure what you were doing that whole time because you didn't come on all of them. I felt like I went to everything the first 2 days.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I did stuff. I went for a bike ride.
I went to the tennis camp. I think you stayed at home. You made coffee for people, maybe.
I don't know.
Because the other two couples that went with us, they'd been going for 3 or 4 years, so they kind of knew.
Yeah, they know what they wanted
to do and what they didn't want to do.
Yeah, and what they want to do more than one time.
Right.
They want to hit that treetop adventure more than once.
So if we did go again, I think I would pace myself a little better. Those first 2 days, I was sprinting around trying to get things done.
And then that's not a vacation either.
Right. Well, by the third or fourth day, I kind of settled in, and we kind of stayed together the rest of that time, and we went and looked at the butterflies. We went and looked at the birds of prey and all that other kind of stuff.
We also rented a golf cart, which, okay, I'm going to give y'all raw numbers. I would say that this vacation probably cost us about $5,000.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm choking even saying that number. Like, that is not and there's 6 of us for a week. And I would say most people are like, that's a cheap vacation, or that's a normal amount for a vacation. Keep in mind, we don't go on vacations. We just don't, because it just feels like such an extravagant. I know we have to take time off work to refresh and things like that, but that kind of money to us is a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
And I think the golf cart probably made up about $300 or $400 of it.
It was $400, yeah, around
so
$400.
It was a good chunk of money, but I will say that we could have driven our car around. There's a little more access with the golf cart.
Yeah.
But I think that there were some really good memories made driving on the golf cart.
Well, it goes slower, so everything takes a little longer to get to. And, you're kind of forced to talk to people, and you're forced to enjoy the scenery.
Yeah. Some of the other kids got on the cart with us. They'll hop on.
Right.
And because we're all going to the same place always. And so they'll hop on the cart. You switch kids back and forth, and they're getting to experience different kids and listen to music. And
right.
They get to just talk a lot louder and scream off the, because you're not enclosed into a car.
Right.
There was one time when they put regulators of some sort on these golf carts to where they can't go very fast.
Restrictor plates.
Yeah, they put a really restrictive one on our golf cart, and we were like crawling. Literally, the golf carts of our friends were lapping us after they had left 5 minutes after we did from one particular event. So we knew ours was going so slow. And here comes a storm. A thunderstorm, and we can feel it was the weirdest thing. It's getting dark outside. You can start to feel that cold air come in that's right before a thunderstorm. It was about to rain.
You could see like the front too, and where the clouds change from light to dark.
Yes. And we're on this stupid golf cart that is crawling at a snail's pace, and Thomas has a pedal down all the way on the floor, and there's a storm coming, and just the experience of the kids feeling all that, and like the anticipation and like a little bit fear of like, oh, we're all about to get soaked as we're trying. We could all run faster than the stupid golf carts going, but we're going to hang on and do it. And then there was another instance where, again, we're on this golf cart, and they have golf cart paths all over the place because we're on a golf course for a lot of it. And since there's water, there's bridges over water. Well, they build these bridges. We found out later it was actually a concrete bridge, but they had put wood slats
Yeah.
across this bridge. Now, this is like if you've ever done a puzzle and you see the like foggy water with this arched bridge that goes over the water, and it just looks like a dreamscape. Well, try driving over one on a golf cart and there's a missing slat. I didn't know it was a concrete bridge. I thought we were going to fall through the dang thing. The fear was real. I really did think I was going to fall through the dang bridge. But Thomas and I went on it for the first time, just us, and I about came out of my skin. And then we're like, let's take the kids on this thing. Let's take them and see what they think, what their death level is. And so, I mean, just more memories were made. I don't know if it's worth the extra $300 or $400 for this golf cart when you could have driven everywhere, but we did it and it was fun. So the kids are already saying they want to go back. We'll see if that happens because $5,000 is not in our yearly budget. I told them they're going to have to start a GoFundMe. Or like
do a little fundraiser.
Do a little car wash. Our kids will be out in the street doing a car wash to go to Callaway next year.
Standing out on the street corner begging for money.
Yeah, but I really do. I do like seeing that other families have made this their tradition because I think it's a really cool tradition.
It is really cool.
To be able to come and the whole time we're like, "Ooh, can we bring our parents? Which one of your siblings would like to come to this?"
Oh, we talked about that. Yeah, which one of your siblings and my siblings?
Well, it's the kind of thing it's like when you like something a lot, you want other people to see it too.
Right.
You want other people to experience it.
But it's unique in the fact that they wouldn't all, we talked about that too, they wouldn't all enjoy it. There are
different personalities.
Siblings of mine and yours that either their kids would be bored by all of that, they don't like the outdoorsy stuff, or your siblings or my siblings would also feel like, I want to be entertained.
Yes.
I don't want to have to go, go play golf, go play tennis, go do a zip line.
Yeah,
if they don't want to do any of those
active.
things. Yeah, if you're not an active outdoorsy person, your children aren't. You're not going to enjoy.
I will definitely say it's not a vacation for everyone, but it is the kind of thing that if you are that person, like you need to experience it because it's so great.
So we might cut this out, but Catherine made a good friend on the trip. His name's Chad.
Here's the thing. When you go for a week somewhere, you start to really know the people because you're all going to the same activities all day and all night. You see the same people. Yeah. We happen to have come with people almost. We didn't come with them, but we knew people there, so we immediately had friends to hang out with.
Yeah.
But you start to notice the people who are constantly there, and there's always one. There's always one Chad.
It's funny. There was one adult that was like that, and there was one kid that our kids were like, ugh, this person.
It happens. Because every personality is different, and you just got to learn to deal with them and live with them. But yeah, and we're not even having that much interaction with this person. But when someone's pretty polarizing,
it's observing
this
guy's behavior.
I have to say, I love people watching. Like, I really do love it. But I love it while I'm doing. Like, again, I like it in this setting where it's the same 50 people or 75 people all week long. And so you start to just pick up on stuff.
Yeah.
Chad was a real Chad.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just... If you don't know Chad, I'm sorry to all the Chads out there, the good Chads. But...
Do they exist?
You need to know that you are the Karen of the male name pool. Karens, I feel bad for you too. The good Karens, because there's some good Karens out there.
Right.
There's some real bad Karens who've earned a reputation for themselves, and there's some real bad Chads who've earned a reputation for the entire group of Chads. And this guy was a real Chad.
Yeah, he was.
He was a real Chad. You guys, okay, I'll tell you this story. This will get you. So we're riding these golf carts around. Every day, the kids meet in what they call a big top. It's like a circus tent. Because, again, the circus comes every year to Callaway. So we drive the kids up every day to the big top to go and drop them off.
Most of the time, they rode their bikes, actually.
Oh, yeah, they
did. But there were a couple times where... one of them decided to bring her skateboard because she thought that'd be a good idea. It just was not a good... You need a bike. You need a bike, not a skateboard.
She's good at that skateboard. Anyway, so that's kind of the meeting place is this big top.
Right. It's where the day starts and where the day ends.
Yeah, and they do a lot of the events there. So the adults drive their golf carts there, and you park them out in the parking lot, and you walk to the big top. Not Chad. No. No, parking out in the parking lot wasn't good enough for Chad. He drove his golf cart into the big top. Like, all the sides are up. Like, you're going to a circus.
Yeah.
That man drove his golf cart into, like, almost to the center of the place. He made a real entrance. And you know what that entrance said to me?
It told you to go get your truck. And
You're an idiot. Oh, I did. I forgot I did that. So Chad drove his golf cart into the big top, parked it, and let all of his passengers off, backed it up, and then parked it still underneath the big top, but just like on the edge of the big top. Well, I had to leave a little early to go pick up someone who had a bike accident, and I decided I'm going to show up Chad because Chad needs to be shown up.
Yeah, he did.
So I pulled a Catherine, and I pulled my truck, my big F-150, into the big top, just on the edge, though, because I didn't want to be like...
Right next to his golf cart.
Right to his golf cart, I did. And I yelled out the window, Alabama's here. I wanted to yell bees. Alabama's here, bees, because they were all from Louisiana.
Yeah.
They were all my fellow LSU Tiger fans.
Yes, they were. They were always decked out in the purple and gold.
That's all you do. If you're from Louisiana, you can do nothing but your entire wardrobe. It's like your McGill wardrobe is orange and black.
But I work there, so there's a little bit of it. Maybe this guy works at LSU.
They live there. Yeah, right. No. The amount of paraphernalia sold did not. People who never even probably have walked on the campus before is ridiculous.
No, they walked on the campus every Saturday afternoon.
That's not necessarily true. Maybe he did.
Not.
What a Chad. Anyway, he did not like so I was spending more time focusing on the fact that I was driving into the big top with my truck and showing Chad up, and more like waving at the kids at like, hey, mom's here. I'm in my truck. I'm in the big top. Thomas was watching Chad's face the whole time.
Yes, I was.
What did his face do, Thomas?
His face... You probably know what it looks like. I mean, it was like one of these, like, who does she think she is?
Well, Chad, let me tell you. I'm a Catherine.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Maybe I'll make a bad reputation for Catherines in the world. But Chad, I'm not.
He was not happy about it. Let me just say that.
I couldn't let him get away with it. I don't know why. What possesses me? I get wild hairs like that sometimes with people who just really...
And keep in mind, it wasn't just me and Catherine in the truck when that happened.
Oh, yeah, I had passengers.
The people that we went and picked up because they had the bike accident were also in the back, and they were dying laughing about it.
You couldn't see them. If all the windows were down, they probably would have been hiding in the back seat. But since they couldn't be seen, they were egging me on.
They were definitely egging you on.
And sometimes when I get egged on, I do ridiculous things. And then you encouraged me to go and ram his golf cart.
To push it out.
I
suggested pushing his golf cart out of the big top with your truck.
I didn't go that far. I didn't do that because that seemed
a little too much.
It seemed a little too much, especially in front of our children.
All right.
I maybe would have done it some other time. And not for the camp counselors. I drove in there and I was looking at the camp counselors and I felt bad that they were probably like, do we tell this woman to get out of the big top?
Right. Well, they definitely didn't want to say it to Chad.
They would never have said it to Chad. Chad had already... Look, here's the thing, guys. This is not just people watching. This is like personal encounters. I think Thomas had some sort of personal encounter with Chad.
Yeah, earlier in the week. I didn't know him at the time, though. It was my first encounter. We were playing golf, and he was complaining to the counselors about...
how bad of a time he was having.
He was having a bad time because with these COVID restrictions, they've cut all the programs back, and he's just very disappointed. And he's complaining to... This is a 19 or 20-year-old kid.
This kid's like, this kid's like, hey, are you guys having a good time?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, actually, I'm not. You're like,
exactly
oh my gosh. And then, wasn't he playing foot golf with you or something?
Yeah, we were playing foot golf.
Yeah, but I thought he was being a jerk.
To his daughter.
Yeah.
Because his daughter, who was maybe 15 or 16, was not as good. And she couldn't kick the ball straight or couldn't kick it far or whatever it was.
Like he's just taking the family fun games way too seriously, basically.
Every time she would kick it, it was just like, could you aim a little more left? Like, okay, Dad. You know?
Oh, good. His own kids. Anyway. Yeah. So that's that story. Anyway, if you guys have been considering going to Callaway and you like outdoor adventures, I would highly recommend this. We had never heard of it until our friends mentioned it. a couple years ago, and then it was kind of on our radar as the kids got older and as we were able to start to maybe be able to afford it. I mean, I've known about.
There's kind of a sweet spot for the kids' ages too. I think
Yeah.
it's kind of a perfect storm of things.
I think our kids
that
are
allowed
in
us
that.
to go this year.
Yeah, I think our kids are in that sweet spot for sure. We have 7 to 13. She turned 13 on this trip.
Right.
So 7 to 13, great ages for this. And of course, as things start to come back, I think that will even increase ages that would be interested in participating.
Right.
As the circus comes back and all that type of stuff. So if you guys have been considering a family vacation where you can have a little vacation but also be with your family, it really is just like a happy medium between all these things.
Right.
Then Callaway may be for you. No, they haven't paid me to advertise for this. We're just really excited about it, and it's fresh in our brain, all the things. I've had people on Instagram asking me questions because they're going. They were already planning to go.
Right.
It's their first time. What do we bring? And so I'm really happy about being able to kind of help people in that way.
Yeah.
Because I just think we should be experiencing more outdoors and being able to find opportunities for good vacations that aren't super commercialized.
Commercially, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, I mean,
there's something about
they weren't selling you anything the whole time you were there.
Like they
were there to entertain you.
As business owner, I was like, you could totally be marketing this way, or you could be selling this way. Like,
right.
Why? Like, for example, the kids go through the Butterfly Conservatory, which has a gift shop at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not handing these kids a sheet of paper with lines on it so they can write all the stuff that they want when they go to camp that day and go to the gift shop? They want a T-shirt and they want a mug and blah blah blah, so that you can get the parents to come back and purchase it with them later on. They're just not pushy about any kind of sales stuff, and in a maybe annoying way. Not really though. I know there were several times you called up there to ask about this or that. They were still making decisions about COVID restrictions and all this type stuff, but it's a little like small towny, like not like super organized to the nth degree. This is not Disney World where like every question has not been figured out yet.
Right.
And there was something about that from the very beginning that I kind of liked, because it felt like not having it all figured out makes me feel a little more relaxed. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I want my airline to be organized. I want for certain things to be organized. But for all of this stuff, I was okay with it just being a sweet vacation.
We're going to figure it out when you get here.
Yes.
Because I think that also there were several times, like we went to the zip line stuff, and we were told by one person that we could go to anything whenever we wanted. Same thing, we went to the canoes. We can go, it's just automatically open whenever you want to go. And when we got there, the kid that was working the desk is like, "Oh, I thought y'all were supposed to be here at a different time."
Yeah, one side of the campus was not talking to the other.
Right. And he's like, "But you know what? Don't worry about it. Here's your stuff. Go and climb up there."
Yeah.
So it was nice, if they were super organized, then maybe they'd be like, "Nope, sorry.
Yeah.
Your time was this. You're not here at that time. You missed it."
Yeah. So I think you can look at that one of two ways. You could be annoyed by it. You could be a chat about it.
Right.
Or you could embrace the fact, and I don't, because I don't know that my personality is normally like that, but for whatever reason, I was embracing the quirkiness of the little stumbling blocks and the mistakes being made and the, figuring out as we go along kind of a thing, rather than everything being so set in stone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I liked it a lot. We had a really good time. The kids already want to go back. We're going to start a GoFundMe. That's the synopsis here.
Yep.
So if you guys have any questions or comments about Callaway, we're happy to answer them. We would love for you guys to experience what we just did last week. You can send us an email at buildingaaronsburg@gmail.com. You can send us a message on Facebook or Instagram at buildingaaronsburg. And until next time, bye y'all.
Bye y'all.